Have you ever dreamed of climbing a mountain made entirely of marshmallows? I know I have. But what if I told you that at the very top, a giant, gooey monster was waiting for you? This is the story of Pip, a tiny explorer with a giant appetite for adventure, who dared to climb the legendary Marshmallow Mountain. Our story begins in a valley where the grass is as green as lime candy and the rivers flow with chocolate milk. In the distance, towering over everything, is Marshmallow Mountain, a colossal peak of fluffy, white, sugary goodness. And there at the bottom stands Pip. Pip has bright orange, spiky hair that looks like a burst of sunshine, and eyes as wide and curious as two big blueberries. He's wearing a tiny blue backpack, a bright red scarf, and a look of pure determination on his freckled face. He takes a deep breath, smelling the sweet vanilla air, and takes his first step. Squish! His foot sinks right into the marshmallowy ground. He giggles, pulling his boot out with a soft plop. This was going to be fun. The first part of the mountain is a bouncy paradise. Pip leaps from one marshmallow to another, soaring through the air like a little superhero. Boing, boing, boing. He laughs so hard his tummy hurts. Below him, the world looks like a tiny toy set. The chocolate milk river is just a brown ribbon, and the candy green grass is a fuzzy carpet. He feels like he's on top of the world already. But wait, what's that sticky sound? Pip lands on a patch of pink marshmallows and finds his feet are completely stuck. Uh-oh, this isn't bouncy anymore. It's gooey. Pip wiggles and squirms, his face scrunched up in a mix of panic and silliness. He looks like a little bug stuck in jelly. The more he struggles, the stickier it gets. He tries to pull one foot out, but his hands get stuck. Now he's stuck on his hands and feet, staring face first into a giant pink marshmallow. "Help!" he squeaks, his voice muffled. "I'm in a sticky situation." He tries to lick his way out, but that just makes his tongue stick too. How on earth is he going to get out of this deliciously disastrous trap and continue his climb? Just when he thinks he'll be a permanent decoration on the mountain, Pip has a brilliant idea. He remembers the chocolate bar he packed for a snack. With a mighty wiggle, he frees one hand just enough to reach his backpack. He unwraps the chocolate and rubs it all over his sticky hands and feet. The slippery chocolate works like a charm. With a final schlorp, he pulls himself free, covered in a mishmash of marshmallow and melted chocolate. He looks like a walking dessert. He laughs, shaking his head, and continues his climb, being much more careful about where he steps. As he climbs higher, the marshmallows change. They become toasted and golden brown, with a crispy outer shell. The air smells like a campfire. Pip carefully taps one with his boot. Crunch. It's solid. He climbs up the crunchy, caramelized walls, his fingers and toes finding perfect holds in the crispy crevices. This is more like real rock climbing. He feels strong and brave, pulling himself up, up, up. The wind whistles past his ears, and he can see for miles and miles. The sun begins to set, painting the sky in shades of orange, pink, and purple, making the Marshmallow Mountain glow like a magical lantern. But the higher he gets, the colder it gets. Soon, the toasted marshmallows are covered in a fine, white powder. Pip licks his finger and touches it. "Powdered sugar," he exclaims. "It looks just like snow." He's entered the snowy summit of Marshmallow Mountain. He trudges through the sweet snow, leaving a trail of tiny footprints. It's quiet up here, almost too quiet. A shiver runs down his spine, and it's not just from the cold. He feels like he's being watched. What could possibly be hiding in a snowstorm made of pure sugar? Suddenly, a huge shadow falls over him. Pip freezes, his blueberry eyes wide with fear. He slowly looks up, and up, and up. Standing before him is a creature made entirely of melted, gooey, white marshmallow, with 2 big chocolate chips for eyes, and a strawberry licorice mouth twisted into a grumpy frown. It's the legendary gooey Yeti. The Yeti lets out a tremendous roar, a deep, wobbly sound that shakes the very mountain. Blur gur gur. Pip tumbles backward into the powdered sugar, his heart thumping like a drum. The Yeti takes a sticky step towards him. Pip scrambles to his feet, his mind racing. He can't fight a giant goo monster. He's just one tiny explorer. The gooey Yeti points a big, drippy finger at the very peak of the mountain, where a single, perfect, giant marshmallow sits, sparkling with crystallized sugar, like a crown jewel. The Yeti roars again, shaking its head. It seems the Yeti is the guardian of this ultimate prize. Pip looks at the Yeti, then at the prize, then back at the Yeti. He didn't come all this way just to give up. He has to think of something, and fast. An idea pops into Pip's head, a wild, crazy, and possibly delicious idea. He reaches into his little blue backpack and pulls out his secret weapon, a bag of rainbow sprinkles and a can of whipped cream. He looks the grumpy Yeti right in its chocolate chip eyes and yells, "You might be gooey, but you're not decorated." Before the Yeti can react, Pip shakes the can and a giant cloud of whipped cream hats the Yeti right on the head. Then he throws the sprinkles into the air, and they rain down, covering the Yeti in a shower of colorful dots. The gooey Yeti stops, stunned. It blinks its chocolate chip eyes. It slowly raises a gooey hand and touches the whipped cream on its head. It looks at the colorful sprinkles sticking to its arm. A strange gurgling sound comes from its licorice mouth. Pip holds his breath. Is it going to be angrier? But then, the gurgling turns into a deep, rumbling laugh. Blur ha ha ha. The Yeti isn't angry. It thinks it's hilarious. It looks at its reflection in a shiny piece of rock candy and wiggles, admiring its new, fabulous look. The Yeti's grumpy face melts into a huge, gooey smile. It gives Pip a friendly pat on the head, which gets a little bit of marshmallow goo in his orange hair. The Yeti then steps aside and gestures with a trippy arm towards the peak. It's letting him pass. Pip grins from ear to ear. "Thank you," he shouts. He made a friend instead of an enemy. He scrambles up the last few feet and finally reaches the top. He stands beside the giant, sparkling marshmallow, looking out at the magnificent view. He did it. He conquered Marshmallow Mountain. The gooey Yeti waddles up behind him and breaks off a huge chunk of the sparkly prize, handing it to Pip. Pip takes a big bite. It's the most delicious, most perfect, most rewarding marshmallow he has ever tasted. He and his new decorated friend sit together, watching the stars come out, sharing the sweet prize. Pip learned that even the stickiest problems can be solved with a little creativity, and that the sweetest rewards come to those who never, ever give up. Thank you so much for joining me on Pip's incredible adventure. If you loved this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing tales. We'll see you on the next expedition. Good night, little one.